At the moment, the demand for crude palm oil in any given year is about 2.1 million tons. Now, Nigeria is producing less than 1 million tons every year.
That is like the Taiwan of Africa, and that if there is power supply, even all those industry that left Aba will come back to Aba.
For anybody that want to make it in Nigeria is to look for any factory that the raw materials are available in Nigeria.
You just cannot go wrong with Nigeria.
The re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari marks a critical turning point on Nigeria's road to economic recovery. Interest rates and inflation are on the decline, the currency is stabilizing, and foreign exchange reserves are on the rise. The economy has come a long way from when it was inherited by a new party and cabinet in the midst of Nigeria's worst revenue declines in more than a quarter century.
The Buhari administration came in to meet a very challenged economic situation.
It wasn't a good one. The crude oil price in the global market had declined.
The slowdown in the economy started in 2014, and the data actually revealed that.
Africa's largest economy was nearly on its knees. The crash in the international price of crude oil had exposed the nation's near-total dependency on a single commodity.
Oil prices that had gone as far as $110 in 2014 had started declining, and at some point at the beginning of 2016 it was as low as $30.
The economy was slowing down, and we had flagged that, okay, there's something going on here and policymakers need to address it.
So revenues were very, very low. We also had very little savings as a country. Foreign reserves at that time was about $23 billion. That's just barely about 3 months financing of the trade that the country goes into.
By 2016, the reality hit.
With the crash in the oil prices, we had a very challenged situation, and we ultimately went into a recession. So this was what the administration met.
The new cabinet of policymakers realized immediately that there was simply no time to lose.
When we were appointed as ministers, it was clear that we were going to go into recession. So we were busy trying to prepare how to pull ourselves very quickly out of recession when that happened.
Before November 2015, the budget was part of the Ministry of Finance. But the president felt that because it was so important to plan our way out of the challenges that we had, it was so important to plan our way to ensure that we brought the change that he promised.
As the nation suffered quarter after quarter of negative growth, it was clear that without a plan of action, Africa's most populous country would soon be faced with the daunting specter of a depression.
Nigeria was over-dependent on a single commodity. The plan was to move us out of that dependency and make us a producing country. Make us a country where we grow what we eat and consume what we make.
And the growth we seek to achieve is a growth that is diversified into other sectors of the economy, such as agriculture, services, manufacturing.
Facing a deepening crisis and an economy on the brink, policymakers rallied to design an economic blueprint to help guide Nigeria out of the dark, which ultimately became the signature monetary policy of the Buhari administration's first term.
Economic Recovery and Growth Plan basically looks at what are the fundamental things that need change in Nigeria as far as the economy is concerned.
The ERGP itself had a huge MBS input. Unlike past plans where you would see World Bank, IMF, UN data, it was mostly MBS statistics, Nigerian domestic statistics, that was used in the plan.
The National Assembly adopted the plan as their own. The private sector adopted the plan as their own. The various states adopted the plan.
The economy has improved in several areas. In other areas, it's done nothing, it hasn't moved. And in other areas, it's actually gotten worse. But overall, as a country, the economy is doing much better.
The numbers tell the story of the recovery. After 5 consecutive quarters of negative growth, the economy rebounded during the second quarter of 2017.
What we want is the non-oil sector should actually be the growth engine.
There's been some improvement in Nigeria's ranking on the doing business indicators, but it's still a long way to go.
Now is a good time. Those who come in now will find that they have an open market, a supportive market, a market where competition is not as severe as it would be in the West. So early mover advantage. See, in Nigeria, we have a large population, so you have a big domestic market. And on the back of that big domestic market, you can now export. This is the time to come. When Nigeria gets congested, and it will, when so many investors are coming into Nigeria, and they will, you will find that the profits would not be as great.
Principally, agriculture was positioned in a way that power sector would enable agriculture. Agriculture, through its value chain development, would need to basically transform primary produce into industrial products.
Nigeria, the largest economy on the continent, plays a significant role in that. And as I said, if they can do the things they're supposed to do, it actually drives growth, not just for Nigeria, but for the ECOWAS region in West Africa, and then also across the continent.
It will take a while, but can you imagine in 5 years' time, you're able to take a train from Lagos to Abuja, and it started. Can you imagine in 5 years' time, we have a fully functioning manufacturing special economic zone, say in Lekki or Eyimba City, employing 1.5 additional million young Nigerians, helping Nigeria to becoming an export powerhouse in textiles, in processed foods, and it's already being implemented. Can you imagine in 5 years' time that our network of roads is not full of potholes that damage your car every 2 kilometers? Imagine a country in which ease of doing business, people can go and get business transactions done, and they get them done speedily, efficiently, and it saves them money.
We're blessed with human capital.
All of the ingredients for viability exist here.
But we must stay the course and build on what we've started.
Investors can come in and they can make a good deal from whatever dollar, pound or euro they're investing.
Because we're on the right track.
I believe in Nigerians. What it needs is for government to signal to the people that we're listening to your needs. For government to show people that we are a supporter of business. We're not standing in the way of business. And as government succeeds in doing that, you will see the energy that will be thrown up in Nigeria. And that is why I believe in the future prosperity of Nigeria.